back to Parliament. Lulama Matya is standing by. Lulama, what's the latest?
Thanks, Desiree, again. As I said earlier on, the proceedings have been adjourned. National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula has called all chief whips of various political parties to meet so that they can resolve what is currently happening, because the business of the House could not start due to disruptions, points of orders that were raised by EFF. Some of EFF MPs have been kicked out of the House. But to tell us more about this, to hear the other side of the story, I am now joined by the Social Development Minister, Lindiwe Zulu. She's going to tell us more about this because she has been inside the House. Ma'am, the proceedings have been adjourned. Let's start there. How are you feeling? How is the ANC feeling? How is the President maybe feeling?
We are ready to continue with our work. The good thing about our democracy is that we've got rules of the House. And the fact that the Speaker has now called the chief whips of the different political parties is further confirming that we have rules that we need to use at all times. As the African National Congress, we will wait for the Speaker to come back. We hope that when they come back with whatever decision that has been made, which is enabling for the President to continue to make his response, because today the President is responding to the issues that were raised by the different political parties yesterday.
The proceedings have been adjourned and because of this current situation. It's something now, this is not the first time this is happening. It happened before. I remember during the Nkandla saga, former Speaker Baleka Mbete had to adjourn the House abruptly and consult with various political parties. How does the image of the Parliament, is the image of the Parliament affected by that, your feelings?
Not only the image of the Parliament is affected, it is us as a nation. At some point we need to make a decision whether we want collectively as political leaders to continue in the manner in which we're continuing, or we want to fix it. And us as the African National Congress, we believe that there is still scope, there is space, there is time. We've gone through difficult moments in our lives as the African National Congress to find solutions to South African challenges. Not today, but we started a long time ago. And our view as the African National Congress is that slowly but surely we will get to where we are going. The rules that we have in the House, we've been amending them on the basis of the challenges that are faced by the House. Even now, it gives us an opportunity to further again look at the rules, because when all is said and done, the message that we need to portray as Parliament is that, do we want to continue to be seen to be a nation at Parliament, in Parliament, that cannot find itself? We, as the African National Congress, we have all the time, all the patience to make sure that we build the institutions of democracy so that they protect everybody, including the ones who are disrupting, actually, by the way. Because when we put the rules, we were not thinking about ourselves as the African National Congress. We were thinking about a parliament. And we, in the African National Congress, when we were negotiating about what kind of a parliament we want, or even what type of a political space we want, we agreed on a multi-party democracy. And this multi-party democracy is what we have right now, and we will continue to keep shaping it so that the future doesn't look like what this House looks like today.
Yesterday you said the change of behaviour starts with you. You even mentioned how you used to behave in the past when in a situation like this. Today, how was your behaviour when there were those disruptions? As a person who yesterday said you want to be an example, you want to set an example, you want to be a changed Minister, Lindiwe Zulu, when things like this happen.
That's what I've been doing since yesterday. It is for this reason that I sat down and I was listening patiently to the reading or the decisions that are being made by the Speaker. I was not shouting at anybody. I was not screaming, because inside me, personally, for my organization, for the people of South Africa, I believe at some point we need to pull back and make sure that the generations that are coming, even if they can say, oh, Lindiwe Zulu, some minister of small business, social development, used to scream and jump and get out. At some point, as a nation, we need to make up our minds. And me, I've made up my mind. My mind is made on the basis of that. I'm led by the African National Congress. My focus right now is, what is it that we can keep on doing better for the people of South Africa, so that when they look at us in the future, they will say there was a period that was a period of disruption, a period of pulling out, but there is a period now of taking us to the next level. I love South Africa, and I think I'm not the only one who does that. All of us, including the EFF guys who are making the noise and being disruptive, if you can take them to the corner and ask them, do they really care about this South Africa? Probably they'll say they care about South Africa, but the current conditions and the current conjuncture of our struggle is such that they believe this is the good thing to do. I don't think, and we on the side of the African National Congress want to pull it back and say there are rules, there are regulations, there's a constitution, and that's why in the House we are saying the constitution even covers the very same president that they are talking about, and therefore the very same president, President Cyril Ramaphosa, has to be exposed to the due processes that they themselves are talking about. We need to build a country, we need to build a nation, and I believe this is no longer the way we can do that. We cannot be as disruptive as it is. Disrespect, disruptive, insulting, beyond imagination. I think that at some point we have to stop.
As leaders of society, ma'am, young, as a Minister of Social Development, there are so many social ills facing the country. You're looking after the most vulnerable people of our country. Young people who are seeing these images today of their leaders that they have elected to come to Parliament behaving like that, the scenes that we've seen here today. What message do you think, as leaders, as people's representatives who are here at Parliament, what message do you think that you are sending to young people who are looking up to people like you, who want to follow in your footsteps, who want to be leaders one day? What message are you sending with these scenes that we've seen today, even yesterday and the previous years?
It is not a good message at all to the young people of South Africa, but we also don't want the young people of South Africa not to be conscious of what is going on here. It's important for them to have an appreciation of why is it happening, the manner in which is happening. But the message that we want to send from the African National Congress, we are saying to them, give us an opportunity, give us a chance, because we learn from the past. If we can't learn from the past, then we don't deserve the future. And quite frankly, if you were inside, you could have seen that the members of the African National Congress were really calm, were really not like usual when we become robust beyond being robust. It's good for us to be robust, but it's also not good for us to be robust in such a way that we are destructive. And as the African National Congress, we made the decision that at some point we need to pull back and begin to strategize maybe differently as to how we can deal with this. Because, as I said earlier on, it's a journey. Democracy is a journey. We are going through certain challenges, and the life outside doesn't even make it easy for our people, because right now we are talking about jobless people, we are talking about economy that is not growing very well, and so the anger and the feeling that nothing is happening will rise, but it will be made worse when they look at us and they think that we are not taking them very seriously. From the African National Congress point of view, we are taking the people of South Africa very seriously, and we are promising the people of South Africa that this that we see in the House will have to deal with it. And what is good is that the political parties can come together and have a conversation. We've had conversations before, conversations of very difficult nature, where the oppressor was here and we were negotiating and we were talking. We are here today. This is the time for us again to pull back and begin to say, what is the image What should we look like to the people of South Africa? We will fix this.
Quickly and lastly, ma'am, the EFF is adamant that the president will not continue with his response today. What would you like to see as the ANC happening after that meeting of the chief whips?
We are going to continue with sitting in the House. The chairperson, the speaker, the presiding officers, because the speaker is not alone. Now that they've gone to have consultations, I'm confident that we'll come with answers to this. We have to continue and make sure that the president responds to the very questions that were asked by the very same political parties yesterday. What the different political parties want to see is accountability by the president. And the only opportunity he has to respond is for him to be given the chance to respond and answer to the issues that were raised by different political parties. If it means sitting here until it is done, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Let's leave it at that. Thanks very much, ma'am. Desiree, that was the Minister of Social Development, Lindiwe Zulu, talking to us, telling us that as the ANC, they want to see the president continuing with his response. Remember, yesterday, if I may just remind viewers, Desiree, was that the president, when he delivered his budget speech yesterday, he did not mention any of the allegations that are leveled against him. He never even touched the saga around the Palafala farm. It was only when the political parties started debating his speech, those issues started to be raised. It was first a chief whip, ANC chief whip Pemi Majodina, who said that the investigation must be allowed to continue without political influence. And then other opposition political parties asked the president to come out clean about what happened on the farm. They were saying that it's his opportunity to tell the nation, to take the nation into confidence about what happened. So what Minister Lindiwe Zulu is saying now is that as the ANC, they expect the president to reply to the accusations that were leveled against him, because it's his opportunity to do that. We will see when the Chief Whips Forum meeting is concluded and the Speaker calls for the resumption of the House as to what will happen. With that, back to you at the studio, Desiree.